Hey everybody, David Skrika, stock chart of the day here. So this is for Monday, October 14th. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I think I'm going to get back to doing maybe a little more stock charts kind of on the, on the screen share, etc. So and it's raining here today. Today is a holiday in the Bahamas. It's Heroes Day, which used to be Columbus Day, but I guess because when Columbus got exposed as not exactly being the greatest guy in the world, they changed it and it's Thanksgiving in Canada. So happy Thanksgiving to my fellow Canadians. I was in Turkey. I know it's not as a big a deal there, but I think there are a few CFL games on. Watch some football. Um, so enjoy the last of probably the nice fall weather as I'll be getting cold. And yeah, so today we're going to look at are we going to enter a market melt up? As I've talked about like things like market cap to GDP and we're just going to look at this right now. And you can see we're actually now slightly above the highs of 2021. So we're really hitting nosebleed levels. So the question we have to ask is how much higher can the market go? And I think especially now it's looking increasing like it's kind of flipped back to Trump winning. I think a lot of the election odds I'm seeing are like 55-45. Again, I try not to I think people know my politics. I'm very pretty conservative. I'm a libertarian, which is why I think both parties are terrible on the fiscal part of things. But the other thing I want to point out with this, with Trump or whatever, is like I do think he's seen as more pro-business, so that could help the market. So maybe like we see a scenario, and I've talked about these in the past. Actually, maybe I'll show you the long-term chart so we can really see them here. And that's the great thing about the stock charts I have. Let's go back 100 years on the Dow. And um, really kind of like the 1968 or 1980 or 1972 markets. Let's maybe actually do a predefined range so we can see this. Let's start in 1968, right before the election, and let's go to 1982, right when the big bull market started. And let's show us there here. And then what we can see is in 1968, the market peaked right. Actually, let's go back to like 1967 so we can see the market rally. Okay, so we're going to go to 1967, and you can see the market peaked right after the election. Nixon won. Republicans seen as more pro business. Boom, bear market into 1970. Right. Then again, the rally into the election to early 1973. Nixon wins in the landslide, and Watergate, all that things happen. We have that big bear market. And same thing, even in 76, Jimmy Carter, which was not really pro business, we saw the market rally into this. So we can see in all of these years, then 1980, Reagan wins, and Reagan seen again as much more pro business than Carter. And we rally up, and then we kind of peak in each case in a few months after the election. So, and kind of roll over. So maybe it looks like to me, this is kind of used to be the traditional election cycle, they called it, where maybe you'd peak right after the election, and then you would have a bear market in the middle of the election cycle, 1970, 1974, 1978. It should have been, yeah, and actually 1982, even though, actually, no, that's before the election year. So 1982. So all kind of happened like clockwork. In 1987, obviously, we had the crash. It happened a year late, so it's not always going to be perfect. But 1984, we saw the same thing. But in these cases, you can see each time right around the election, the market topped, and I think that's kind of where we're headed here. That especially if Trump wins, we could see a market turbo blasted into the end of the year, especially when the markets are usually higher by October, November. By the end of October, November, they continue to move higher because then portfolio managers chase stocks because they want to be shown to have good returns. You can see if you look at his leadership stock like Nvidia is close to breaking out. The Nasdaq, which was kind of lagged on this rally, you can see the QQQs is now getting back to the highs. The Dow Industrials are breaking out here. You can see actually the industrials have been much stronger actually than the tech as of late. The transports, I've talked about this Dow theory sell signal. The transports are getting close to breaking out. And of course, transports are goods and services moving. So that could be very positive maybe for the economy short term as well. So I definitely think, like, again, I think with the valuations being stretched, I've talked about price to sales. I talked about the Buffett indicator. I don't know how much upside we have, but I do think here in the fourth quarter we're safe. And I have some kind of high beta leverage turnaround plays in our paying memberships. Three stocks, all three of them are up right now. And they're not up huge, but they're up 10, 20% kind of thing. And I'm hoping that the fourth quarter can kind of turbocharge these kind of stocks as well. And yeah, so I'm thinking that, like, if we win here, we could definitely see some kind of rally going into the end of the year if Trump wins here, and even Harris might trigger some kind of rally, especially in stuff like if we look at, like, this is the top one of the top uh stuff like this is a big lithium company, and of course she's going to promote EVs. Here's for solar is another one. But actually, I would think a trade you might want to put on, because I think it increasingly looks likely that Trump will win because he's had rallies and on assumption. You can see that was the gap up after the debate, right? Is that maybe you want to short these because Trump is definitely going to end EV mandates, etc. But anyhow, I wouldn't really look at that as a trade. I'd look at more, being long markets. And I think the markets could hold up to the end of the year. And I think that we're going to break out on that market cap, the GDP. You can see the S&P, and we're going to see some kind of blow off here into the end of the year. So, and I don't know, maybe it will be like 1929 or 87, where the market continues to blow off into the end of, sorry, into the summer of next year, right? I don't know, right? But I can tell you that's what we're looking at. So what we're going to look at here is, and this week and more in the stock chart of the day, is we're going to look at um, junior mining stocks. Can they finally be breaking out? Can they finally end their long-term downtrend, et cetera? We'll look at that more like later on this week. That's probably what I'll do tomorrow, Tuesday, for our paying members. So here also too with stock chart of the day, I am not going to put out updates on the free membership list the day I do my paying member updates. And I'm not talking about short-term trading, blast, et cetera. I'm talking about the weekly membership update for paying members. So Wednesday, we're going to do it this week. I'm going to, because I fell behind because of traveling and my week from hell that I talked about. Yeah, I didn't put my paying members updates out till about Friday last week. So I'm going to do it Wednesday this week for paying members. Then I'll be back to Monday next week. So Monday, don't expect updates on the free stock chart of the day. I kind of like putting those Sunday updates up because, I know not all of you are football fans like me. I don't know how interested in football I am with the Raiders being absolutely terrible. I actually kind of want the Raiders to tank right now. The tank right now, because the only way you turn around in modern day NFL is you need a top tier quarterback, and the only way they're going to get a top tier quarterback in the draft is to be bad. So it's kind of a write off year. But anyhow, I like that Sunday mornings. I know a lot of people maybe take walks on Sundays or clean the house or whatever. So you can kind of like spend the 10, 20 minutes of your day while you're doing, or, some of those things, listening to one of my videos, as well. So everybody take care. I hope you really enjoyed this stock chart of the day. Yeah, I think that we could potentially be seeing this big move upwards here in the fourth quarter. And like I said, I've got a handful of companies. I'm not chasing the Nvidias or the nosebleed stocks, but I do have some. There's three companies in particular I have that are all in technology, and they're all, I think, are turnaround plays, and they all have started to move as of late. And I hope that they continue to move if the markets do see some kind of big blow off here in the next few months. So everybody take care, and I hope you enjoyed this.